Welcome to another HanDrinksSolo wine info video, this time on the Kaapzicht Bottelary Hills Estate Blend 2020. Now, Kaapzicht is a family-run estate. It's been run by the Steytler family for 4 generations. That is a lot of Steytlers. And given what these guys have achieved over those 4 generations, I feel like they are still one of Stellenbosch's most chronically underexposed estates, which is why we're going to cover them now, because it's actually a great time. The estate is in a state of flux. So a little while back, Danie Steytler Sr. handed over to Danie Steytler Jr. And of course, Danie didn't want to make changes immediately because he had a legacy to protect. But we always knew that change was going to come. And it seems like that change is now here. But before we talk about that, we need to discuss, well, what was the legacy that needed protecting? First up, the Kaapzicht legacy was built around Pinotage. It was back in 2004 that Kaapzicht won the Best Red Blend in the World award for Danie Steytler Sr.'s Steytler Vision Cape Blend 2001. That Steytler Vision Cape Blend also won an award from Decanter for Best Red Blend in South Africa. And I always find it interesting to have a look at what these international decanters deem to be the best of the best in South Africa, or at least what will appeal most to their international readers, because sometimes us local critics can just get into our own little huddle and it becomes a kind of echo chamber. It's really nice to have these foreign voices looking in and often pointing out wine talent that we might not have recognized. And the Steytler Awards don't end there. Steytler Sr. proved that his Pinotage wasn't just good in blends when he then got an award for a cultivar Pinotage. So Decanter gave him the regional award for best red cultivar wine, i.e. a wine made from at least 85% of one grape type, in this case Pinotage. And more recently, Decanter also gave an award to Kaapzicht's 1947 Old Vine Chenin Blanc, dubbing it the most exciting wine to come out of 2017. This was of course followed in 2020 by the new Cliprug Chenin Blanc, featuring in the top 10 Chenin Blancs of South Africa for 2020. So yes, Decanter loves Kaapzicht, and Kaapzicht wins lots of medals. We know this, and I know that already some of you are skeptical. So for those of you who lie awake at night imagining panels of wine critics plotting and colluding together to figure out how to more effectively use stickers to deceive the public, you're welcome to dismiss this long, medal-strewn historical narrative that I just doled out for you. But before you do that, it's probably worth at least spending a few minutes focusing on the future, or at least what Danie Steytler Jr. is starting to do with the Kaapzicht brand. So while Danie Steytler Jr. has not forsaken the Pinotage legacy, what he has done is introduce some delightfully nerdy winemaking touches. For starters, he's got 2 Pinotages in the main range now. One is the Royland Pinotage, which is made in a big, rich icon style. And then contrasting that is the kind of hipster haberdashery Skraalhans Pinotage, which is light and aromatic and looks far more like a love child should look when its parents are Pinot Noir and Cinsault. But what of this Bottelary Hills 2020 Cabernet Merlot Shiraz blend? Well, it's undeniably New World in style with its fairly concentrated waves of ripe fruit. It certainly has none of the hipster green edge elements that sometimes put wine newbies ill at ease. So Danie Jr.'s vision for this wine was to take on the kind of Rupert and Rothschild classiques of the world and beat the pants off them while delivering a wine at 2/3 the price. So if you're feeling up for a wine adventure, why not set up the tasting? Serve the Bottelary Hills Estate Blend alongside something like the Classique, but make sure that both wines are served blind so you're not swayed by any extrinsic factors. Or if you don't feel like doing that, why not just drop a few questions into the comments section at the bottom of this video, whether it is about Bottelary Hills, Bottelary as a ward, Danie Steytler Jr., or in fact, the exciting new wines that are being released by Kaapzicht. I'll answer as many of the questions as I can, and if I don't have the answers, I'll go find them and bring them back to you as soon as possible.